No, folks, you hear me okay? You shouldn't hear me okay. Not sure what happened. Woof. Woof. Okay, full screen. I can see them and read them now. Nice. Don't need to anymore. Vamos. Alright. 24 minutes to get something to work. Man, your Cyber Doctor streams are just... Damn, it takes forever. I think it just takes a lot of people a lot of time to get started. Just a lot of time, a lot of things to complain about, a lot of things to do, lots of places to be, and we're back. As confirmed by Stream Elements. Hopefully it didn't destroy my YouTube. But yeah, thank you for being back, Cyberpunk Reno. Welcome back. Control Windows T. Nice. And yeah, we hacking today. We hacking again. Hacking in the morning, hacking in the afternoon. Most of the morning, just in time, MC, yes. Good to see you, MC. Hello. Welcome to the tech world, yeah. Folks, I have to say something. And it might sound weird because this is my home country, but France is like third world. France is third world on everything. It's like, first of all, the internet issue, I have it a lot, and it's just because connectivity inside of Paris, which is one of the most densely populated cities in the world, we lack connectivity, 4G. Like, my phone won't work enough, like, long enough to sustain Paris. And then what do? I look around for the Wi-Fi password in my hotel room, in my French hotel room. And then what happens? Well, I can't find it. I find a QR code, though. A QR code, what does it say? Does it say, here's our Wi-Fi password? It says just, get our app. Like, dude, you're like a small hotel chain. What the fuck am I going to do with your app? And then I'm like, I'm looking around, maybe the other side has the Wi-Fi password. That would make sense. No, it fucking doesn't. And then I try to call reception. The thing is, I didn't put my phone to charge. So the housekeeping, the phone there. So I had to go down and barefoot in the lobby, take a photo of the goddamn QR code, and that QR code thing did not have the password in plain human readable text. So I had to scan it with my phone, get it on there, remember it, which I suck with, and then come back here and connect to the Wi-Fi. Fuck, man. That's France for you. France on a silver plate. Things should work better, man. Things should work better. But that's what we have. Folks, hopefully you're not losing me. Because I see I'm only to 2 bars in my hotel room for the Wi-Fi. So I hope that's okay. Yeah. Just ranting a little bit. Happens to us all. Alright, hopefully you folks can hear me, see me, enjoy me, whatever that means. Sounds kind of weird. I'll admit to that. And we do Control F for full screen, and now we get back onto it. Cool. So, yesterday we were breaking our heads onto this freaking thing. So folks, let me tell you about this box that we're doing right now. We are doing a box that is called, until you drop the audio. Pretty stable on my end. Nice, okay. Until you drop the audio again. Lord. I don't think it will happen dropping the audio. I don't know. Should be okay. So what are we doing right now? We are doing a box. And that box is called 2 million. And MC, you might remember this because you're an old schooler. But, Cyberpunk Reno wasn't on this as much. And so, wasn't during this time, I think, hacking. So, it is a box that you used to have to do in order to create an account on TryHackMe. And so the task is as follows. There's an IP address. We should probably reschedule it because I don't think it's there in this time. Reset it. And the goal is to get through to the root, basically. And we're struggling to get a foothold. It's our 3rd day streaming it. So basically our 4th hour. Firewall. That's not good. Yeah, it's our third day streaming it, so we're like on our fourth, fifth hour, something like that on this machine. Kind of drove us crazy yesterday, but at the same time, just cybersecurity drives us crazy in general. What does it mean that we're struggling to find the thing here? Why are you struggling? Tired of IT problems, man. The fuck? It's my last business trip in like a month, folks, so it wouldn't be too bad. Hopefully, like, there's still Wi-Fi? Yeah, okay, we're still on full Wi-Fi. I don't know. 2 million. Why won't it work if we're on full Wi-Fi? 2 million? It's not like we modified anything in hosts. Let's check out. Temu is sponsored. InfoSec streams. Don't you agree? Yep, nothing works. We can like restart the machine. I don't know, man. Let's restart it. If it doesn't work, folks, we're going to move to a stream where we just talk about things. There's articles I want to read to you, and we can talk about them. Didn't the IP change? VPN? Yeah, probably. But we can't even load the webpage for try hack me, or hack the box. So there's something sussy going on here. What's up with you, MC? I feel like we haven't chatted in a while. We haven't chatted in a while. Yeah, basically you came into the day when we were doing the race that XR won. The race to the. Let me just go overall. Good day, folks. Is it working? Yes, it is. Wow, I was annoyed by that, huh? Happens to the. Hey, Wrench is back. What's up? Hey, Bedro's here. Cool, good to see you. Hey, Bedro. Yes, yeah. The microphone is good. It's this one. Hopefully, it's better than the microphone
The camera. This should cost 10 times as much as the camera. And you're saying there's no that much difference? I think this personally. No, there's no difference, there's no difference. All good. What was the data saying too? Happens to the best of us, yeah. I can hear you now. Now it seems to be like a good stream. For some reason, the box won't work. I say fuck it. Power off the machine. We'll get back onto it another time. We really lost a bit of time trying to get everything rolling and working. So I say we just have a chill stream where we talk about cyber together. To do this, I just received another newsletter from a guy called Ross, something that starts with an H after RH. We'll call him RH from now on. And I think it's very interesting to see where cyber is evolving, how the cyber market is evolving. And for everyone that's, trying to understand the world of cyber. That's really good. Mulgars. Wow, the hotel network are likely having policies that may interfere with the box. Oh, that's really good. You're good. It's hacker mindset right there. Margars, I think you should come on our next King of the Hill challenge. I think you'd be pretty good at it. And honestly, when there's a King of the Hill challenge, I'm kind of cheering for everyone at this point. I really want to get someone through the door and having a victory. Just like XR did last time. But like some real challenge where we're battling it out. But yeah, we're all getting good at cyber together. So yeah, if the hotel is having a thing about us connecting, it kind of sucks because I don't know if I can connect to the hotel Wi-Fi with one and then to the 4G with the other one. But yeah, folks, I was just complaining. I think there was just Cyberpunk Reno there. I was complaining hard about how France is kind of a third world country. Kind of feels that way sometimes. You just show up to things and nothing's working. It's like, how do you live here? And it's the capital too. It's one of the richest places really in the world. Like it's pretty rich, and yet nothing works. Nothing works. It kills me. I don't get it. I really don't. But okay, this is why I'm not living here, I guess. Folks, we're gonna chill. We're gonna chill a bit. I'm gonna hold the microphone up like this, and we're gonna talk about cyber topics. Let's go on to a guy I like to read, and then we'll talk about it, and then dive into rabbit holes and stuff like this. Just chilling and talking about cyber, what's new in the product world of cyber, what's with cyber. So yeah, it's quite interesting to see what are the news there, what is the market feeling, and what's cyber clinic. Yeah, that's it. Boom. I have to type in my password. It's called the newsletter is called Venture in Cybersecurity. Venture in Security. So we'll go on to that. Let me close this one, and I'll stream my Firefox, and we'll talk together on how to invest in cybersecurity. What is going on there? Venture in security. Ross Heleliuk. I think the guy's from Eastern Europe, perhaps Hungary, if I remember correctly. I checked it out before. All right, we got some articles here. Data advantage. Oh, that was a strong one. I was pretty good. All right, let's go over here. Rabbit holes is part of the journey. I agree, Sick in the Mind. Hey, well, we have everyone on the chat today. Let me share my screen. Which one is it? Scene, and then we can unlock, what is it called? All chats, no. VM2. Wasn't there one for right screen? Digger. Hey, Agent 57 is here too. Holy shit, we got everyone. Window capture. Let's just do overall window. What the fuck? I don't care. Select the window to capture Firefox. Boom! Boom. Just like that, you don't see me anymore. Isn't this a win-win? You get to see the screen and you don't get to see me anymore? Freaking awesome. Move to the top. Alright, there's another one for some reason. Order, move to the top. Vamos! And we're here. Echo. Paperclips don't count. Paperclip is here too. Holy shit. We're having all the usual viewers. What's up, folks? We've been struggling for like 40 minutes because of, well, partially you may say that's because I'm not very prepared to stream, but I think the real reason is because France is kind of a I don't want to say retarded country because it's not that bad, but yeah, it's pretty retarded. All right. How's it going, chat and everyone? You can't say that, or maybe you can. I can't. I don't know. I don't think so. Retarded. Okay. It's What does retarded mean? It means like. Yeah, I probably can't say that. That's true. If it's my own country, does it like? Is that a saving grace? Mental disability. Yeah, probably not. You're right. It's not very third world. I can't call you folks instead of guys in order to be more inclusive, and then just say retarded. Doesn't work together. Cool. All right. So good catch, Bedro. I won't say retarded. And let's go. I give you the pass. It's okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, I appreciate you raising it too. It's important that we don't become closed-minded, right? In our way of talking. So, folks, we're going to check out this person. This person makes, what are they called? They make cybersecurity news updates. Historically, this guy was a venture capitalist. Do you all know what a venture capitalist is? A venture capitalist is someone who invests in early stages companies and hopes to make money once they start growing and getting more clients and stuff like this to sell their investments and make some money this way. Right? So you invest 1 million and you get 10 million back, or probably more. Usually it's either you make a lot of money or you don't make any money at all. And usually you don't make any money. So this guy, and now he created a company of his own in cybersecurity. And so he has a pretty good idea of the founder side now and the market situation, right? Because he's still very much included in everything. And he wrote this article called "Today AI is one of the two monumental shifts in cyber today." So it means that there's another one, and I think this is what he means by this title. But you have to be aware when you venture the capitalism. Basically pirates with suits. Yeah, I guess so. I'm kind of against capitalism too. Like I don't know. There's so many ways that we get exploited in what we do. But I mean, you kind of need people to invest in companies, right? They're kind of enabling the social elevator. Have you ever heard of this concept, the social elevator? It's the idea that you can move from one class to the other. It's like if you're from a poor family, you can rise. You have echo now. Yes. Thank you, Mulgars. The microphone decided to work again. This one. Thank you, Mulgars. I appreciate it. It's kind of like the social elevator is this concept where if you are low class, I don't really like using this word either. If you're born from a not well-off family, it's the idea of how much can you rise to the social ladder. And I think these guys kind of enable it, right? By giving money to people who are ambitious, who have good ideas, they kind of enable the elevator, right? Saying, hey, I trust in your startup. I think you have a cool idea. You have a great execution plan. You're someone who works hard. Let me give you some money. right? Because if you're wealthy, maybe you don't need as much an investor. So maybe these guys are kind of balancing out the scale in a way. That makes sense. But maybe they give it more to their rich friends. I don't know. It's always hard to know. So this guy has a really good view onto cybersecurity. And today we're going to read probably about the other monumental shift in cybersecurity that is not AI, which is good because we keep on talking about AI, including on this channel. So we'll learn about it. And I hope you're excited. This is fresh off the print. It was from yesterday. Today for some of you, because you live in the US West Coast or just another on the American continent somewhere else. It's 2026, when nobody can confidently say what the future of security is going to look like. Everyone is trying. What else can we do? But judging by all the progress around AI in the recent months, we are all going to be wrong. The biggest mistake we all make is assuming that the future is just a slightly more advanced version of today. That is often true, but when real paradigm shifts happen, we are way too slow to react and even slower to imagine what comes next. So yeah, we're kind of in an era of paradigm shifts where we're realizing many things that we used to do, maybe not as productive, there's a better way of doing things, etc. While all attention is on mythos and AI, the reality is that AI isn't the only fundamental shift underway. Just as impactful is the rarely discussed but equally powerful change in how security products are bought. This is exactly what's today's deep dive is about. So we're deep diving about the way that cybersecurity products are bought. Hope that makes sense for you folks. If you want, this is going to be very interesting for you because, as some of you might know, I have a sales background. I used to be a salesperson at CrowdStrike, so I have an idea or two about how cybersecurity products are bought, and you can enjoy that and understand a bit better. Whoopsie fuck. Okay, I decline cookies and I get white flashed. I guess that makes sense. I've earned it. So yeah, for you folks, it might be interesting to understand just how cybersecurity is done, how CISOs react to new solutions, and what is the landscape like. And I think for how security is bought is very interesting because it also gives us an insight as to how the jobs are being selected, how different things are being picked up, what are the CISO priorities, etc. Okay, retina's burnt, yeah. Yup. That's what happens when we decline cookies and Dark Reader all of a sudden decides I'm not working anymore. I also got my retinas burned. All right, you can't scare CISOs into buying a new tool anymore. Yeah. Some 10 years ago, security teams were really struggling to get basic visibility into what was going on into their environments. It was understood that there was a lot of risk, but what's good and what's bad was largely unknown, or rather, not easy to figure out. CISOs complained that they needed visibility into all the badness in their environment, and the market listened. This is exactly how we got the entire categories of posture management solutions came about, from CSPM, which is cloud solution position management, cloud security posture management, DSPM, which is what domain security posture management, SSPM, social security position management. I don't know what SS is. Security, software security position, and application security management to infrastructure position management, and most recently AI SPM to name some. I'm sure I missed a few. Yeah, there's a lot of need for visibility out there. Suddenly, security teams were finally able to see what was going on. It almost felt like a posture management tool could win the budget and finding some really... Wait, hold on. Suddenly, security teams were finally able to see what was going on. It almost felt like posture management tools could win the budget by finding some really risky set of misconfigurations very quickly. CSPM famously did it really well. Security teams would freak out saying, "Gosh, How could we miss this for so long and feel grateful for the vendor for surfacing the issue? This gratitude didn't last forever because seeing problems isn't the same as being able to resolve them. That's true. This is where we, as an industry, have failed. Vendors would tell security teams that now that you know what's misconfigured, you can start driving remediation. What got lost in translation is the fact that driving remediations means more work for the already overextended teams. More of creating tickets, more of chasing people, more of begging them to fix problems, etc. Security teams didn't get more power to get things fixed, but now that they know the problems, they were getting blamed when a breach would happen despite knowing what the gaps are. Oh my god, folks. This is powerful stuff, no? How we... Oh, maybe I can put myself somewhere else so you can see the whole text. You can put it up there because I won't read from up there, I think. What's happening right now in the cybersecurity world where we're like, yeah, we have visibility onto everything. We do constant asset management. We always see what our different assets are. And in reality, it doesn't matter unless you're able to take the actions on it. It doesn't matter much, right? And so visibility is good to a certain point, but if you can't act upon things, it's difficult. And the thing is that oftentimes it's not really the cybersecurity folks that have to do anything about it. It's not up to the cybersecurity folks. It's just not. If you have to reset a server, if you have to patch a server, 9 times out of 10, it's not the security people. It's the IT people. You need to tell them, hey, patch this, do that. And then you have to keep on begging. You're spending a lot of time getting your tickets out. And yeah, it's a challenge. Are you folks involved in this? I'm trying to look through the chat, seeing which one I know whose profession you are. Is anyone's kind of recognizing themselves into this world of uncertainty around security people and stuff like this? Is anyone identifying themselves with what we're reading right now? All right, I guess not for now. Let's keep on reading. This gratitude didn't last forever because seeing problems is the same as being... Okay, yeah, we read that one. More power and getting fixed, and then no problems. They were getting blamed when the breach would happen, despite them knowing where the gaps are. I can feel this being so frustrating as a cybersecurity person. You're getting blamed for something that you knew was going to happen because you didn't get enough resources to do anything about it. And you're getting blamed for it. Wow, I would be so pissed. Like, you must get on an emotional level where you're like, guys, oh my god. It's like you're getting accused for something you fought so hard against because of something that happened while you were fighting against it so hard. It must feel like shit. And I think it drives people away from security a lot. You know, when we do security, a lot of what we think about us, at least on the stream, is penetration testing. But penetration testing is a pretty chill job in terms of the whole cybersecurity scope. When you think about it, it's just one piece of it, right? And there's so much that's adjacent to it. There's so much around it. Like penetration testing is awesome, and there's so much around it too. So yeah, it's nice to see another way of looking at things. And yeah, people are getting blamed for different things, and I think it drives people away from cybersecurity as well. I feel like I'm getting all the blame without any ability to act upon it. It feels so frustrating, I bet. In 2026, you can't scare a CISO into buying a new tool. Visibility remains fundamental, but it's no longer enough. As Yaron Levy said, visibility without action is just noise. And most CISOs are starting to realize that. 6 or 7 years ago, can't you just say 7 or 6 or 6? 6 or 7 years ago, a startup could get a CISO's attention simply by saying that it has a next generation tool to surface risky gaps in the customer's environment. Fast forward to today, and the very same CISO is going to frustratingly tell the founder, look, I know I have many problems. I know that we have a lot of risk. I don't need another tool to tell me that. What I need is something to actually address these problems and remediate to all these findings. Yeah. Yup. Yup. I don't need you to tell me what's up. Blame for what? Oh, there's data dominatrix. Lily of the Valley, hey. But everyone hates admin work, though. That's true. Everyone hates admin. Do you think it converts to admin, like updating a server and doing things like that? Kind of, no? I've never really updated a server or done patching. Has any of you guys on the chat done it before? Done remediation, like patching and stuff? Yep. 6, 7, yeah. Okay. What you learning? I'll tell you in a sec, 0x Nix. Tell us about it, Sick in the Mind. Is it admin work? Sadly, admin work is one of the things I'm good at. Why is it sad, the data dominatrix, that you're good at something? Admin work is one of the things I'm good at. That's really good. That's a nice talent. Wait, what is this face? Sooner or later. Nice. Blame for what? 6, 7, yep. What you're learning? I mean, define admin. So the things we just read about, Sick in the Mind, where you have to patch a server, you have to change a firewall configuration, certain things like that. How annoying is it for you? Yeah, so system administrator tasks. Exactly. Yeah, pretty much. Is it kind of annoying to do? Like as part of the not hard at all? Yeah, I know it's not hard. Is it usually admin is not that hard? Is it annoying to do though? So 0 at Nix, Lily of the Valley. Lily, you're up early. We tried hacking and the box didn't work and the Wi-Fi didn't work and everything didn't work. Nothing worked today, well, except for this microphone that I have to hold. So we are talking. We're reading a blog article from a person named Ross about how the way we buy products has changed over the years. So yeah, what basically the landscape looks like, and it's probably going to influence a bit how cybersecurity jobs are decided, how investment is being made in companies, and just overall the cybersecurity market is being decided by CISOs, really, because they're the one that have the power and influence to purchase things, to hire people, to influence budgets. So yeah, technically it's kind of led by the board because it's a risk management thing, but truly the how much is decided by the board, the how is decided by the CISO. So we're kind of getting their perspective. So not really. On schedules are for it. So when systems go down and it's the weekend, you got to respond. So that's annoying, when it's over the weekend. But, patching and stuff like this is just part of your job. You're not that upset when you do it. I'm stating assumptions, Sick. Maybe you can develop on that. Of course. Yeah, so, yeah. Not really. It's not really part of your job to patch stuff? Yeah, no, you're right. Okay. Routine. Yeah, it's part of the routine job. So yeah, it's kind of part of the job. But, I mean, if you have a very long to-do list as an admin, and, you need to create a user, you probably have a lot of tickets to handle, then, the cybersecurity patching might not be top of your priority. Sometimes configuration changes are part of it too. Yeah. So it's just the fact that people are busy. Everyone has just enough time for things. And cybersecurity is a risk that might happen, right? So if you don't patch a firewall, if you don't do something, then you might get into trouble, right? An attacker might get through. But if Steve, the new joiner from marketing, doesn't have his accesses within a few days, you're like, okay, what is IT doing? And 100% you're going to get caught for that. So I think there's a bias there where you're thinking pragmatically, where you're thinking, hey, what is going to get me in trouble here? Is it not? Yeah, okay, we good. Multi-chat, okay. I was afraid we might not be looking at YouTube, but this is multi-chat, so no one's been chatting on YouTube. Is it going to get me caught 20% of the time, or is it going to get me caught 100% of the time? So I think there's a bias there, right? Because cybersecurity is not necessarily always going to happen, but an IT configuration is just going to bite you in the butt 100% of the time. Are you sharing that perspective, sick in the mind, or? It's very interesting to have some IT folks on the call as well. On the call. What is this? Corporate America. All right. I need someone to actually address these problems and remediate all these findings. So yeah, this is a complete shift in what companies can succeed in the market. So if you wanna see this venture in security, just go on securesecurity.net and be sure to subscribe. To sell a security tool, you need to show a CISO a real ROI. It's easier said than done. Yeah, showing an ROI is difficult. The best advice I got when I myself was going through the process of ideation is to focus on a tangible return on investment, ROI. In the end, it will always come down to the ROI calculation. So if you are an aspiring founder working on a new idea, you might as well start with the ROI calculator and walk backwards. In security, this can be easier said than done. Here are the ways in which security products tend to try to show their value. All right, so let's calculate ROI. Folks, do you know ROI? The whole idea of ROI? It's super important in terms of cybersecurity and in terms of how companies make investments. So if you're looking to join cyber, if you're already in cyber, trying to understand how cyber decisions are made, ROI is a key decision factor in everything that we do. And Lily of the Valley can attest to that. So, yeah, ROI is return on investment. It's the idea that if you put $1 down of investment, how much return are you getting for that $1 that you're investing? So the idea is you have to show to CISOs that their investment is worth their money, in a sense, right? If you spend $1, you're going to get $10 of return. And in some companies, it's the return that is expected. If you spend $1, you're expected to make $10. So in cybersecurity, it's a little bit harder to do, right? Because, as I said before, it's not about how much money you spent, it's not about, like, when you're creating accounts for Steve, Steve is going to work. So the return is obvious there. The probability of happening is 100%. Or close to 100%. In cybersecurity, the idea you might get hacked is maybe only 1% within a year. So how much protection are you getting out of your dollar spent, given that it might only be attacked 1% of the time? So it's a real challenge for companies here. So you want to calculate. So if you're a salesperson, so if you're trying to push forward an initiative, you want to push ROI, and there's different ways of calculating. Here's what Ross found on ways to calculate ROI. ROI in the form of improving efficacy. Coverage. As one of my CISO friends likes to say, security is a game of coverage and efficiency. Coverage, or efficiency, is critical because the better coverage, the less likely the company is to get breached. Historically, the most common pitch for security companies was precisely around improving efficacy. Not only that, but the most successful cybersecurity companies have almost always had a strong story around coverage. People bought CrowdStrike because its behavioral detection engine was designed to catch what McAfee missed. People bought Palo Alto because its application-aware firewall was able to block threats its predecessors missed. Newer email security vendors, vulnerability scanners. Hey everyone, welcome. Who just rated? Oh no, I missed it. Who just raided? This sound is scary. Dida Dominatrix. D. I believe my Romans. Because I saw you were streaming. I was trying to get access to my Twitch chat on my phone. Yes, it is Romans. Hey, Romans. I saw you were vibe hacking a bit with Claude, no? So, Romans. Yeah, of course. Yeah, nice. Well, thank you very much for the raid. Welcome, everyone. Today's a bit of a special stream. We usually hack on the stream, like live, just like Romans does. But today we've had a few technical setbacks and just focused on talking about cyber today. We're talking about cyber. You can see ROI in the form of improving efficacy. So we're talking about how we can be better at managing cybersecurity. And what are CISOs making decisions? Rouse AK is here. What's up, Rouse? Awesome to have you. Maybe I can remove this, actually. Just thought about it. That's pretty good, actually. My microphone comes in with two handle thingies that are quite good for hanging it onto a microphone stand, but for this, maybe it's easier to just hold it by hand. So yeah, folks, having some difficulty technically, and we're reading an article from a person called Ross Helilyuk. I think it might be my first time remembering it, his full name. Just have to remember not to push this mute button, otherwise it's kind of fun. End up being a funny stream. I caught the stream. Yes, you did, Legacy Spock. Nice. Welcome. You made it. We're not finishing early today. We're finishing on time at 8. So yeah. Welcome, everyone. Good to have you. We're learning about ROI in cybersecurity. ROI is a very important concept. It stands for return on investment. And the whole idea is how much money can you get back for every dollar that you get. And there's different ways of proving ROI. And ROI is important for everything. Whether you want to get hired, people are going to think, okay, we're going to pay this person this much money. How much money are we getting in return? So there's this. There's for decisions around cybersecurity. For decisions around cybersecurity, like so, are we investing in this project or this project? So yeah, there's many things we can do. Where's the biggest Mort microphone? This one. There was microphone issues, so we had to move to the other one. Usually I have a stand for it. I mean, housing, by the way. What microphone I called the stream? What do you mean? Where's the highest ROI? Where's ROI the highest nowadays? Do you mean in personal life or in cyber? Anyway, I'm going to answer about cyber. I think the best thing anyone can spend their money on is EDR. Buy EDR and put it everywhere. Honestly, it's a cyber control that just works wonders. Yeah, ROI the highest in housing. Like, you mean investing in housing? XDR, XCM. Yeah, you think so? XCM. Is that like a SIEM? Do you mean XSIEM? SIEM or SCM? Because I've never heard of XCM. I know SIEM, but CM, not really. XCM, I've never heard of it. What is an XCM? Interesting. That could be a nice debate, huh? I feel like we could have something. I've seen it before on what is it called? On the LinkedIn, the best social network there ever was. XCM, Palo Alto. Oh, français. Now you all know I'm in France. Libérer le plein potentiel des opérations de sécurité pilotées par l'IA. There's a special mistake. There should be an L apostrophe here. So Palo Alto didn't really translate this well. Let me tell you what it is real quick. Dites adieu aux outils SOC colonisés, cloisonnés, aux alertes interminables et aux processus manuels. Neutraliser les menaces en quelques minutes. This sounds also generic. Like neutralize things. Detect so many things. What is the idea here? Is it like a... All right. Waiting for Palo Alto Networks.fr. Fuck off, Palo Alto. Qu'est-ce qu'un Cortex XCM? There we go. We'll look at it in English. So a bunch of bullshit here, a bunch of bullshit numbers. I wonder how people keep getting away with this. Say goodbye to siloed security tools, endless alerts, and manual process. XDR, SOAR, and SIEM. It's a Palo Alto platform that have XDR, SOAR, and SIEM. Yeah, I think though, I don't know what you think, Romans, but I think SIEM is kind of meh, waste of money, especially nowadays where we have the ability to use large language models to de-silo data. EDR doesn't stitch firewall logs. Also, Tim. Yeah, I mean, I think you're a better hacker than me, but I my perspective is that firewall logs don't necessarily need to be analyzed as much as what happens on the endpoint, right? Because where's the value in your company? I think network has lost a little bit of value versus endpoints that have gained a little bit of value in the past couple of years, because endpoints is where the information is. If you're gonna think, oh, I have to protect something, your servers and your servers are probably number one. Yeah, are in it too. Yeah, applications are in it too. Your servers are probably number one, and your PCs or your workstations are probably number two. And like appliances like firewalls and stuff have kind of decreased in value, I feel, because it's harder nowadays. I'm just guessing. But the thing is about cybersecurity is we all have different expertise. Mine is being high level and kind of making assumptions. But sometimes it's hard to gotta decrypt. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see what's not bullshit. What am I not bullshitting, right? I'm making assumptions. I'm just hearing things, and my job is basically to understand what's happening at a high level. But this involves making a lot of assumptions. And how do I know they're right, I got kidnapped by Romans. Keku. Nice. I'm still sleepy as fuck. Ay, ay, ay. Hexable. Damn. I love it when people say Keku. I think you're the only one hexable. But more people should say Kiku. It's kind of funny. Bro, you need 7. I knew. I'd need so many things. Hexable. I also need an extra hour of sleep. That would be great. So you can see it. Yeah, I do. But it's also fun to see Keku written. It's kind of funny. Keku. LMs are in for sure. You gotta decrypt. Yeah, I mean, Romans, you have some cool perspective. The legacy Spock is endpoint detection, EDR. Probably vibe coded. Romans was asking if EDR, you was asking if EDR is endpoint detection. Yeah, EDR is endpoint detection. The detection and response. Yes, and also maybe I'm biased a bit because I used to work for an EDR seller. Then go to bed. No, man. I need to stream. I need to hang out with you folks. I'm not gonna give up for an extra hour. I'm not gonna give up on my schedule just for an extra hour of sleep. No, I'm waking up and we'll sleep a little bit extra on the weekend. But just saying that I need to get 7 TV, that's true. And I need to set up, and Romans has such sick emojis, emoticons, or such a sick brand, I feel. And I need to get some of that stuff in there. I have some pretty cool ideas. Nice. Okay, I see you guys are chatting. All safe did it. Yeah, his are dope. I agree. Spend a bit of time. The GG one is really cool too. The pond, and there's a GG one as well. It's quite good. So cool. We talked about this technology called XCM, which might be right. The thing is when you rely on Palo Alto, I feel like it's good. For network, it's probably their best, but for everything else, it kind of feels like they're becoming a little too large. And if you just hand them over the keys to your kingdom by just getting everything with them, then you are getting yourself vendor locked, and you might have to spend a lot of money to keep all your stuff going. This is what cybersecurity companies do. They keep you locked in and then they increase prices. And it's kind of hard for you to move away from them. Look at Microsoft. It's just so hard to move away from Microsoft. Once you start having your cloud there, when you start having your AD, when you start having so many things, it just becomes you're stuck there. So if I were a company, I would try not to get stuck onto Microsoft and Palo Alto and stuff like this. You're gonna have to keep some people in. You're gonna have to a little bit more overhead, but long term, it just gives you more negotiation power. And I think companies that know what they're doing understand that and won't necessarily go all in within one vendor. Even CrowdStrike, it's not a good idea to just get everything with CrowdStrike. And if you build in the cloud, try not to use solutions that are Microsoft specific. Try to see what you can that would easily be movable onto another platform. There you go. Tip lording a bit. Not, I mean, what they do. Nice. There's a SOC, I think, third party. That makes sense. As Elliot had to come in with the help DDoS. Fandom, all safe. Nice. Cybersecurity. This is what they say are contractors. So, folks, if you have seen Mr. Robot, they're talking about it in the chat. It's quite interesting. I haven't. I do know some references. I've seen some scenes, but I've never watched a full series. So, yeah, feel free to interact with them while I read the next passage about coverage. Coverage is really good. So, coverage was a way to get your solution sold back in the day, where people used to buy solutions because they were able to block more things than previous generation tooling. And now it's different. Newer email security vendors, vulnerability scanners, threat intel providers, and nearly every vendor in every single category have been saying something like, our secret sauce algorithm can catch 98% of badness when our competitors can only do under 80%. Welcome to 2026, when nobody can tell anymore what works and what doesn't than we were. Sorry about this poor reading. Welcome to 2026, when nobody can tell any more about what works and what doesn't than we're able to do a decade ago. So we haven't made progress really on this 98% figure. Given the explosion of cybersecurity startups, each of whom is obviously next-gen AI-powered and threat-informed, CISOs are no longer jumping on the opportunity to replace their existing tools because of efficacy alone. So saying, hey, we detect more is no longer an excuse to get your solution through the door. That is, unless a startup in question is truly a step function improvement, which, let's be honest, most of the security vendors aren't. In this day and age, a lot of the security teams already have good enough solutions, and to convince them to deal with the pain of migrating tools, startups often have to offer something really compelling, generally going beyond efficacy. So if efficacy, saying my thing works better than the one thing you currently have, is no longer enough. And I've actually faced this pushback quite a bit when I was working at CrowdStrike. Oh, well, we're 17 viewers. 17 people. Damn. On a stream we weren't supposed to do. Nice. Yeah, I guess so. I guess Roman's brought a few viewers in too. I wasn't able to see, but yeah, there's a few of us. I'm going to share my perspective because I was working before in sales, and there's something that caught my attention here. In cybersecurity sales, I was working. Something that caught my attention. Yeah, efficacy is not enough. And what we mean by efficacy is the idea that, do you block, what percentage of threats do you block? Is it 3% or 3% would kind of be useless. Is it 80%, 90%, 99%? And to be honest, the 1% that you might miss is relevant, but it's not relevant enough to justify a shift, right? Because oftentimes when you're selling a solution in cybersecurity, you're not just looking at what is the benefit, how much am I going to have to pay for this solution? You're looking at the complete cost. If you're a CISO, you're thinking, how much time are my guys and gals gonna spend on having to migrate this? Is there gonna be downs? Is there gonna be a time where we're not protected as well? A transition period? Is there gonna be an upskilling? Are we gonna have to train more people and stuff like this? So all of a sudden, the calculation on how much the solution is going to cost you is just becoming real, and you're thinking, okay, we're moving from 98% to 99%, but it's going to cost us this much training, it's going to cost us this much time, this much resources. So oftentimes efficacy is not enough, and I've witnessed it before. Like companies will actually come up to me back in the day when I was a salesperson in cybersecurity. They'd be like, yeah, I don't know, I just don't see the value. Like I was selling CrowdStrike, and they already had something like Inset. And they're like, yeah, we already have plenty of detections. We already have that and this, and your extra costs, your extra training, your extra stuff. So, yeah, there's always friction in what we sell. So yeah, we're gonna read a little bit more about this. I feel like we're getting mixed in with the talk on with we're also talking on the side about, what is it called? We're also talking on the side about the movie Mr. Robot, the series. Oh, so Hexable is bounced. Ciao, ciao. You're gonna lurk here. Okay, nice. We all got to work tomorrow. Well, it depends. Depends if we gotta work. I haven't finished it yet. Got taken off Netflix. It's on Prime in Canada. Just been watching a lot of stuff. Lots of other stuff, okay. As though, yes. Okay, so we're just talking about Mr. Robot here. I found a whole bunch of admin panels to corporations, and I'm kind of like, what do I do with them? Trying to find vulnerabilities and report them. I just have a whole folder in my bookmarks. Interesting. I found a bunch of admin panels to corporations. In what context did you find this, Legacy Spock? You found panels to corporations? Like as part of pen tracing job? Can you remind us what you do? How did you come across such information? And Sick in the Mind told us, just goes to show they don't know the difference in the tools. Yeah, right. Yeah, they don't know the difference in the tools. That's true. But it's also up to us as salespeople to educate, show them the value of what they're buying, right? To understand, like the number one thing where we're worried at CrowdStrike, whenever we initiated sale, was how much do you understand your customer? It's never about how much does the customer understand about your solution. Like if you, the main thing that they will care about, if you have your big boss coming onto a large deal, and the first question they're going to ask you is, what do you know about your customer? Always. This is the number one question they're going to ask. It's not how much do they know about us? Do they know what different value we have? That's secondary. How much value we have? What is the value we can bring to them? But hey, thank you for the follow, viewer. I can't see it. Oh, because it's at the top. This is on top. This is why we're not seeing it. Let's go overall chill. We have a new viewer, and they're called That Devevia. That Devevia. Thank you very much for following. Welcome. And now we're no longer here. That's great. That is a freaking great. Move to top. So yeah, the and sales, what really people want to do, your sales manager, what they really want to do is understand how much you know the customer and their metrics, who reports to who's going to make the decision, things like that. This is the number one thing. And so, yeah, they don't know the difference in the tools, and it's our job as salespeople to explain them the difference. Now, the thing is, if they rely on salespeople, it's obviously going to be biased. Because salespeople have commissions, salespeople have sales quota, salespeople have families to feed. So it's not great. It's you can't rely on your salesperson to do that, and it's okay to some extent to open your horizons, but it shouldn't be your job, because obviously they have a commercial interest. So yeah, the best way, usually what I would recommend to a CISO would be to try to do the research on their own. Okay, I'm reading chats from 4 minutes ago, folks. I'm catching up a little bit. Ross AK is saying, don't mess with them unless you have permission. Yeah, for sure. Thanks, okay, Dorking. And the apostle here as, oh, that Devia. I think it's the first time you're chatting, that Dev Evia. I'm the apostle here as I program APIs and that. No, you're not the outsider for here. I think a lot of people here are techies, tech people that are not into cyber. And it's great to have different perspectives. You program APIs and that. That's really cool. Everyone is welcome. Thank you very much, Ross AK. Matrix from Roman 61. Such a cool logo. Such a cool, what the fuck are they? Emote, they're called. Surprisingly, some of them were hidden just in the source code. Yep. That Devia is sending a diver bongo. Nice. GoBuster is an easy way to find them too, but if you touch them, you can get lost. You get in lots of trouble. Like the CFAA. Paperclips welcome. Of course, paperclips welcome. Of course. GoBuster is an easy way to find them too, but if you touch them, you can get in a lot of trouble. Yeah, GoBuster, even Nmap can be quite a bit dangerous one. Hi, Samantha. Ooh, going on YouTube. Samantha shapeshifting. Don't you come within the emoji that like goes in like this? That comes in with their hand up like this, the zombie. Folks, we're having Samantha on the chat, and they come in usually with the same kind of ugly emote of the person running towards the camera, just waving hello. They're like a zombie on purpose. Didn't Kevin Mitnick cause a computer fraud and abuse to become a thing? Ooh, Abuse Act. That was like 1990s, no? Like the first. That's a landmark. It's kind of a landmark legislation, what Legacy Spock is talking about, because it's the first thing that criminalized hacking. Like, actually bad hacking. Yes, there it is. There's the zombie walking in. Ugh. I like it because it's you, but there's something about it that's like, ugh, a bit uncomfortable about it. Nikto is also a good tool for I guess checking. Okay, for breaking things. There's so many tools out there. I gotta go, buddy. Have a good stream. Thank you very much for coming by. Era. Thank you very much. CFAA was 86, I think. Wow. Okay, computer fraud and oh, that's what it is. This is the CFAA. We're talking about CFAA, Abuse Act. Nice. I've seen it before. Cool, folks. So, 7:30. We're talking about this. Okay, bedtime for me. Enjoy. Thank you for coming in, Cyberpunk Radio, and for helping us with the audio and everything. Your presence is truly appreciated as always. Thank you. Woof! Legacy Spock sending a dictionary over. Computer Fraud Misuse was enacted in 1986 as an amendment to the first federal computer fraud law to address hacking. Over the years, it has become amended several times, most recently in 2008, only 2008, to cover a broad range of conduct far beyond its original intent. The CFAA prohibits intentionally accessing computers without authorization or in excess of authorization, but fails to define what without authorization means, with harsh penalty schemes and malleable provisions. It has mystery. It has we don't know what. Apparently, illegally, it's written. It's with harsh penalty schemes. Okay. Damn. The thing is, though, that a lot of hacking is done by people that are very young. Kind of seems unfair sometimes to condemn people very strongly for actually did this early. I don't know. It kind of feels weird for me. I don't know what you think, but isn't it weird in the judicial system that from one day to the next, the day you turn from 17 to 18, you just become a full-on adult and you can be liable for so many things. Like you can face the death penalty in certain states of the United States. Isn't it weird how you just all of a sudden become way more liable for things? Like way more condemnable. Wouldn't it make more sense to have a more progressive way of doing it? Same time, I don't know what is best. There's probably a reason why 18 is chosen in most jurisdictions as the year you get in real trouble. Yeah, it's too weird. I know when I think about myself back at, it's too weird. Yeah, when we think back at our 18-year-old, it's like, were we that different from the time we were 17? And the documentary on HBO of this kid going to DEF CON and getting the feds on him. Depends on the crime. Change 18 to 21. Okay, so some things are different when you're 18 or 21. Okay. I heard of 12 years old getting trialed as adults. Damn. In the United States or in a country where, let's say, rule of law is not the same as in the Western world, let's say. I'm reading your previous messages, Legacy Spock. Ah, right. You're talking about the legislation, the Computer Fraud Act. Has become a ripe tool for abuse and use in nearly every aspect of computer activity. Yeah, for getting spied. I mean, our rights on computers are slowly getting eroded. Like cameras using facial detection. I mean, I'm just thinking in our whole digital world, we're getting more and more spied on. It's kind of scary. Little got after the sons. Ah, okay. Has become a riper tool for abuse. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Especially in the United States. You folks are getting destroyed, and I think it's going to come in Europe too. Like everything that happens in Europe is coming to everything that happens to the United States in the past 80 years has been coming to Europe a little bit afterwards. So I guess we're screwed too, but maybe there's a bit of decoupling between Europe and the United States. I think Europe is kind of becoming its own thing now. We're a little bit forced to derive a little bit from the United States. Like the United States is not as sexy as it once was, at least in my eyes, and I think in many European eyes. It's still sexy, but it's not as sexy as it used to be. That Dev Evia is from Australia. Damn, what time is it in Australia? I was gonna make a joke about being upside down, but I think you've heard a lot of it already. What is like? Let's try a Perth time. Perth local time. Just kind of curious. Okay, it's only 1 p.m. Like, for how far Perth is from the rest of the world, it's not that far away. Like, Perth, like, what is it? It's like 4, 5, 6. It's only 6 hours to Perth, even though it's the end of the world. Perth to Paris distance. 14,000 kilometers. That's like 9,000 miles. 9,000 miles, and we only have 6 hours of difference. Holy shit, no? That's crazy. How does that work? Sunrise there must be super late. I don't get it. Maybe, I think there might be a winter time and a summer time actually playing together. Do Sydney. All right, we could just ask you, but I guess we'll do it. Sydney, I spelled it wrong. Sydney local. We're driving all over the place, huh? With our stream today. Time. It is 3:30. So it's still reasonable time. I don't know. It feels weird. Okay. I minimized the window and now we don't see anything anymore. There we go. Australia badass. Nice. Australia's badass? I guess so. Has any of the non-Aussie people on stream been to Australia? And what do you think about traveling there? So I'm invited to a wedding there in next year. And I don't know what to do in Australia. I don't know whether to get excited about going to Australia or not. It depends on the crime, like murder with intent, armed robbery, stuff like that. So yeah, the age depends on that. The penalty will depend on your age at the time, I guess. Have you heard of that guy who made the open source 4D world view map? No. One guy built open source 4D for the world. He used to track the Iran invasion. That he used to track? No, I don't think so. I haven't heard it. You're right. 3:30 p.m. for me. The U.S. has become a villain, sadly. Yeah, a little bit like unreliable. I don't know, maybe a little bit of a villain. Yeah, I think you're right. In the comic book kind of sense. Yeah, it has become a little bit of a villain. Yeah, so it's like you guys kind of put yourselves in that position in a way. I don't know. Something, and villains are kind of good in stories, but yeah, I guess the United States has positioned itself as a villain. You're still 4,000 kilometers away from Perth. Dude, Australia, the distances in Australia are just no fucking joke. He's 12 hours ahead of me. Or Australia is, yeah, do Sydney. YouTube watched this. I'm going to click on it exceptionally just because it's USPOC. Yeah, I don't think you can see it. It opened and I saw everything. It's a video called I Saw Everything. Ex-Google PM built God's Eye to monitor Iran war. God damn. There's just so many open source stuff. Folks, we can dive into so many rabbit holes. Open source data and stuff like this. If you want to check out Spock's video, it looks pretty good. Ex-Google product manager built Google God's Eye to monitor Iran in 4D. Holy shit. Yeah, there's so many deep dives we can do in everything, folks. And I think another interesting one would be open source data, OSINT and stuff like this. This is better article. I don't know what people... I don't know. I just heard people in Australia like them. What are dimmies? I think we mean dummies. No. He said he was releasing it sometime this month. What, the tool you just sent about? The intelligence monopoly is over? And that's the thing, folks. In everything that we do, whether it's cybersecurity, whether it's solutions and everything, there's just so many things we can do. Like, when we think about a couple of 100 years ago, you were a factory worker all your life, or you were whatever, you were a farmer your whole life. And everything that we do nowadays, folks, it has become so specialized. In cybersecurity even, there's easily 100 jobs we could focus on. There's easily 100 jobs. You can do 100 different jobs in cybersecurity and still have no idea what the other one of the 100 ones does. It's absolute madness. It's absolute madness how much option we have today, how much different things we can focus on. And this article that we're reading about ROI is part of it. When you were saying, who was it earlier that was saying, was it Rouse? No, it was Sick in the Mind, I think. That was saying they just don't know the difference in the tools. It's absolutely true. There's just way too much. There's just so much we got to focus on. And so having to focus on all the things everywhere all at once is boiling our eyes, and people just don't know what to do. So this is why we have to be especially clear as salespeople. We have to be, especially as salespeople, we're pretty, but the thing, so yeah, we have to have your idea straight and if you want to sell something to people, you have to have a little bit something more than just saying, I improve your stuff by 1%, because there's some real cost to having to change things. All right, let's get moving. ROI in the form of improving efficiency. So if you just joined, we were talking about ROI before. ROI is the concept that stands for return on investment, and it's basically how cyber decisions are made nowadays. It's the idea of, if I invest $1, how many dollars back do I get? So we talked about how a lot of the time, historically, things have been about efficacy. So it's kind of like this EDR solution blocks 80% of threats versus this one blocks 98% of threats. So the value is very tangible. But improving efficiency efficacy after that is kind of hard, because reducing the detection, the false positives by 2 times is much harder than, like, the last percent are very difficult to get, and they have less value as well. So efficacy alone cannot win. We also have to improve different things. So Here, the author seems to talk about efficiency. Another form of value that resonates with security leaders is efficiency. This makes a lot of sense because, as always, security teams are expected to do more with less. While the attack surface continues to expand, more cloud assets, more identities, more integrations, more third parties, etc., security budgets are most definitely not growing at the same rate, despite what many people would assume. Hiring and retaining people in particular remains really hard. Yep. And the reason for that is because, well, actually, maybe you folks can tell me what your thought about this is. Hiring and retaining people in particular remains really hard. I actually don't know really much why that is. I have some ideas, but why do you think it is hard to hire and retain people currently in security? Because I think a lot of you are in the security market. What are some things that you notice that are difficult to handle, and why companies are reluctant or are having a hard time retaining their talent? So because hiring and retaining people is hard, and that the attack surface is expanding without more money, it creates a problem that even security teams that have great coverage on paper with best of breed tools and top vendors in the stack, it rarely has enough time to go through all the findings these tools produce. It's not enough to just go to buy tools without operationalizing them. And so, in too many companies, the gaps between what should be happening and what actually happens day to day gets bigger and bigger over time. So yes, the tools are saying you, hey, do this, do that, do this, do that. And then you're like, dude, I have 8 people in my security team. We don't have enough time or resources to do everything you're saying. And we're not just getting enough value. We don't need more visibility. It's like this meme that says, we don't need more engineers. So you haven't answered my question on what makes hiring and retaining people in particular remains really hard. I don't know why. I actually don't know why it's hard. I'm going to copy paste this whole article into ChatGPT and let it think for us, educate us as to why it's hard. I'm not sure if it's silly. Maybe we should ask it to see it on the internet. Go read on the internet why it is hard to hire and retain cyber talent. Okay, so it didn't go on the internet, but okay. The current 2026 picture, and after digging into recent data industry analysis, I'm not sure you did do that. There's not a shortage. That narrative is actually misleading. The difficulty comes from a set of structural mismatch between what companies want and how talent develops. Exciting stuff, folks. I feel like I'm commenting on a sports action. What is the question? The question, Rabbit Paperclip, is because the article said, is it hard for you to follow when I read articles? I feel like it might be. Hiring, I feel like I have to highlight a bit more the different things that I'm talking about. My question is around hiring and retaining people in particular remains really hard. So Rabbit Paperclip, why do you think that is the situation? Why do you think that hiring and retaining people in particular remains really hard? For me, it's something I see a lot, but I don't understand why it's so hard. Is hiring and retaining HR talent really hard? Accounting talent also really hard? It's hard to understand why it's really hard, especially for cyber. Here's why it's hard to hire cybersecurity talent. The skill gap is real. It's not just about headcount. Companies don't just need people, they need highly specific experienced operators. Demand is strongest for senior roles, architects, incident responders, cloud security experts. Skills are evolving faster than training people can keep up. AI plus cloud plus multi-systems environment requires systems thinking, not just tools knowledge. Yeah. Yeah. Systems thinking. That's really well put. Not just knowledge. Net effect, plenty of candidates exist, but very few match what companies think they need. 2. Hiring expectations are unrealistic. The experience paradox. Companies ask for 5+ years experience in tools that barely existed 3 years ago. We've heard that, no, before? It's kind of a meme on the internet. Exact tools matches instead of transferable skills. Long certification list, credential inflation. Wow. Have you ever heard of this? Credential inflation? What the fuck does that mean? Tell us more. You can't get experience without a job, but you can't get a job without experience. Just create a loop. Yeah. Long certification list, credential inflator. Yeah, and the thing is, if you're not going to retain your talent, it's kind of hard to invest in it too, right? So, Rouse AK kind of answered our question on talent. Like you said, the attack surface is growing. So there's a lot of stress and pressure on people are only capable of so much. Yeah. A lot of the OGs are retiring and less people are going to college. Yeah? I don't know if a lot of people are going less and less to college. But I agree with you that the pressure and security can be quite hard. It can be quite hard, and it's not for everyone. Rabbit Paperclip says IT and cybersecurity is hard to staff quality talent as the technology moves so fast. It's hard to gauge skill versus tool familiarity. You want skill that can adapt to any tool. That and security is a core component of a large corporation. But it is, in the end of the day, overhead. So costs need to be controlled, meaning only the very wealthy companies can retain top talent. Yeah. Yeah, it is overhead. And overhead is not good, especially during kind of a hard time where companies are trying to save money, right? It's not as flexible as having an external SOC or things like that you can adjust your contract clauses and everything. And people require management and stuff like this. Yeah, that's really good pay, Rapid Paperclip. I agree with Ross AK. It's smart. So yeah. So you're saying about the stress. ChatGPT also suggested that there's a security gap. Hiring expectations are unrealistic. The experience paradox. This creates a loop. You can't get experience without a job. Tell us more. I want to hear more about this idea called credential inflation. What does it mean? Does it like everyone tries to top each other? Because I've seen people that are freaking sick in their minds. Hey, get the joke? They're getting like 30 certifications. It's like, bro, like get 4. I don't know, or like even 2 or 1 is enough. I think AI is reshaping the talent market, especially entry level. AI is automating junior tasks. Yep, companies are hiring fewer but more senior people. Entry-level pathways are shrinking fast. Yeah, this is huge. The industry is cutting off its own talent pipeline, which makes senior hiring even harder later. So what this means, folks, is that if you're a junior nowadays, it's going to suck for you to find a job. But if you can manage to get past this challenging time where you do not have the experience that companies looking for, you're going to be left without a lot of competition in 10 years. Because the seniors, a lot of them are going to go away. They're going to move to other field. They're going to, pass away or retire, a lot of them. And so there's going to be a gap for senior talent. And if you're able to catch the wave, to catch this gap, then you're going to be one of the few very good senior people, if that makes sense. So it's going to be quite interesting, I think. This rabbit hole paperclips knows a few things. Wink, wink, wink. I wonder if the wink actually winked if I got 7 smart or 7, whatever. Folks, I'm getting hungry. Yeah. All right. So, and we'll read one more. The job itself has become more complex. Security used to be narrower. Now it spans cloud, multi-cloud environments, identity systems, a SaaS ecosystem, AI-driven threats. This completely creates tool sprawl, fragmented systems, massive cognitive load. Nearly 70% of orgs says Say too many tools are a risk. Yeah. Yeah, we're just getting overwhelmed. I think people are burning out pretty fast in cybersecurity too. Burnout, well, hey, just like that. When you mentioned burnout, I was looking at myself like, hey, there's a mirror over there. But yeah, burnout and stress kill retention. When companies do hire talent, they struggle to keep it. 59% report high stress, 84% fear being blamed for breaches. Yeah, dude, wow, all the time. Small teams plus high responsibilities equal to burnout. This create a revolving door. Hire, burnout, leave, hire again. Damn. Career paths are unclear. Huge retention problem. Only 24% of orgs have clear cybersecurity paths. Lack of progression is a top hiring and retention blocker. People don't want jobs, they want trajectories. They want meaning in what they do. They want meaning. They want to feel fulfilled, like, yeah, I did something today. People are rewarding me for my job. And not just have a gun to their head all the time saying, if there's a breach, I will pull the trigger. Well, sounds bad. So yeah, people who would have thought that people wanted job satisfaction, getting rewarded for stuff, and finding meaning in what they do. What you pasted from Ross Haliliuk lines up perfectly with reality. Security teams are overwhelmed. Hiring more people doesn't fix operational bottlenecks. AI is shifting work, not eliminating it. Which leads to important conclusion. The industry doesn't have a pure talent shortage. It has a talent plus system mismatch. Nice. Well, we asked about credential inflation, so we'll just read about it quickly. Credential inflation in cybersecurity is one of the things where everyone complains about, but keeps getting worse because it's a symptom of a deeper hiring dysfunction, not just a bad job description. What credential inflation actually means? It's when employers require blah, 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 blah. It is when employers over-require certifications, degrees, or specific credentials for roles that truly don't need them. Example you'll see a lot all the time. Entry-level role asking for CISSP, which requires 5 years of experience, multi-cloud certs, 3 to 5 years of hands-on work, 8 to 10 certifications, exact vendor experience. We need you to have seen all of our tools. You need to be proficient in everything. Why credentials inflation happens? Hiring managers don't know how to evaluate skills. Yeah, true. List every certification that sounds relevant. I know we do. Okay, I'm gonna go real deep here. Deep. Oh, there's a few more things afterwards that we need to read. A few more chats we haven't read before, and I will just say this, and afterwards we'll get to the chats. I'm even gonna do this, folks. This is important. In everything that we do as cyber people, and I think just in general as humans as well, we tend to love simplifying things in the following way. You make a list of criteria, and then you're like, how much of this criteria does this person meet? And then is it 5 out of 6? Is it 19 out of 20? And our whole lives were graded upon this, right? What percentage of the questions did you get right? And in cybersecurity, I work as a cyber insurer, insurance, and we have to assess the cybersecurity risk of companies. And a lot of time we're tempted on just looking at the company saying, this is what matters. We're going to check. Does this company have that? Yes. Okay, so they get a point. Do this company not have that? And then you take out a point because they don't have that. And then you kind of put things just on an equal pedestal and you don't really think for yourself. Was this relevant in the first place? Was this criteria relevant in the first place? Like if you think, for instance, a company that does manufacturing, all they do is they make pencils. Like you're saying, oh, they don't have encryption at rest. Oh, fuck. You're like, dude, they're making pencils. Who the fuck? What happens if they steal their data? It's all good. But the thing is, decisions are hard, and we sometimes just want to go for anything, rather than doing actual thinking work. And when you see this, the hiring managers are suffering the same problem. They're like, dude, I do not want to have to decide too hard on the person whether I like them, because it's really hard to judge people and find the right fit. And it's kind of stressful too, because if you get the wrong person, it's going to cost your company a lot of money to fire them, to rehire someone else, to train the new person. So sometimes just relying on a blank list of, hey, on paper they were good, because you're taking out the blame from yourself, right? You're thinking, hey, this person had a lot of certifications, they weren't working because of that. So you're kind of taking out the blame. It's no longer my fault, it's someone else's, because I checked they had the right certifications, we talked about it, it was all good. So, and in cyber insurance too, they're like, oh, they had encryption at rest, they were supposed to be good. So they had encryption at rest that were supposed to be good, and you're thinking about it and you're like, wait, did you actually do your job? Did you actually go further than that? And it's hard, and cybersecurity managers are overwhelmed. They have so many skills to have, so it's just one thing that adds on top of it. Folks, I'm gonna read everything, including Jim the Dandy. Yes, Jim, I have YouTube on. I see there's a lot of chats. We're gonna take it originally from where they were. So 752 is my latest chat. Sick in the Mind said, I became a senior pentester manager because my skills with multiple systems made me a very efficient pentester, mentoring lots of people and that just don't know these systems work or operate, why admins configure them the way they do. So you're saying, Sick in the Mind, that you have that you know, you're realizing how much knowledge goes into penetration testing. Like the young folks didn't understand the full scope that you had. Rouse AK finds it nice. HR sits on their buttocks and write articles from their HR idiots because they're not actively getting hacked. Nice. Yeah, I guess that's what HR does. They sit on their butt. But I think HR is kind of an underrated function. I don't like them too much just because they're HR and they serve the employer. But I think they can be quite underrated in companies. It's a horrible way to gouge someone's abilities and quality. You mean certifications? I judge people by their text edits. Edito. What is a text edito? Is it like the way their CV is written? XD, are you a nano hater? Ah, right. Oh, there's text editor. Of course, nano vim and stuff like this. Yeah, you should, rabbit paperclip. The largest pencil manufacturers' revenues are somewhere between over 100 million a year. They would have financial records. They still have HR documents. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're right. They do, but yeah, they do, and it's important. They have financial records and stuff like this. But in most circumstances, financial records are not that bad. If you leak them, it's not that bad. And some HR documents, I guess so. They probably have several hundred employees. But realistically, in most jurisdictions, this doesn't matter a ton. Honestly, it sounds ugly to say, but in most jurisdictions, this doesn't matter a ton. Did I say 100? 600 million. They make 600 million. What's 600 million? It's a bit of money. It's not that bad. It's not that much, you know. I don't know, if you compare, like, if their plants shut down, if they're making 600 million within one plant, which is possible, making pencils. If their plants shut down for one day, they lose about 1 million in revenue, maybe more. 2 million. If their 50 employees or 100 employees get their data stolen, you're probably having to pay a lot of lawyer fees and stuff like this, but it's nowhere near as close as 1 million. And 1 million is kind of conservative for a cyber attack. Excuse me, 1 day of downtime. And then you have to pay for system reinforcements and stuff like this. So what I'm saying is, kind of like how certifications are a little bit like an oversimplification of using your brain and thinking about what an employee needs. Risk questionnaires are kind of an oversimplification of what needs to be done, and as a cyber analyst, they can lead you to the wrong path. I hope I'm making sense here. I'm kind of struggling to get my ideas straight a bit. For pencil manufacturer, lol. What do you mean? For pencil manufacturer, are you talking about the fact that I hated like paying lawyer fees and stuff? I don't think it's that bad. But yeah, if your plant stops working, you're in a really bad position. If your plant stops working, this is your number one fear. If a little bit of data goes out, it's not that bad. Sleepyhead mixes words a lot when he reads chat. Sleepyhead. You're the one calling me sleepyhead. You and another viewer, I think, are always calling me like wake up sleepyhead. Who is it? They have a white chat. That's I know. They wanted to skip IT and go straight for cyber, so they have major knowledge gaps. I see. The pen testers. Yeah, and I did that too. I skipped IT directly and went to cyber. So yeah, we have huge knowledge gaps. But maybe you have strengths in other things as well. I don't think cyber requires as much IT as we think. Like it's good, especially if you want to go in pen testing. Knowing how systems work is really good. But I think there's ways that you do not have to do it. Maybe you can come from governance and stuff like this and still have a really good cybersecurity career. Boof, today, folks, what a stream. It's 8 a.m. We kind of have to get going to work. Stream manager. There's 13 of us. Wow, amazing. Folks, I'm going to do a little ad here. Please follow. It's amazing to have you on board, and it's going to mean that you get to see a little bit of our journey. We're streaming 1,000 days. 1,000 days of cyber. So we're on day 148 today. Yup. Day 148. And so yeah, we're going to go all the way to 1,000. Maybe we're going to become ninjas. Maybe we're going to start growing wings. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're learning on the way. So be sure to follow so you stay on the road and that you are learning with us and you follow this adventure. It's going to be amazing. Man, I'm going to have wrinkles by the time we finish this. 1,000 days. It's going to be in like 3-4 years. So, yup. Maybe Rouse AK is going to be a dad of 4 kids by then. I'm not sure if you have any kids nowadays, but you're going to have 4 kids by then. Maybe you won't have time to come on the stream anymore. Sleepyhead mixes a lot of words when he reads chat. Yes. There's no cyber without IT. I'd argue the opposite is true. There's no IT without cyber. There'd be a really chaotic IT without cyber. It'd be a really fun IT, man. But like kind of unusable. So yeah, I guess. No kids, lol. Jim the Dandy said, top 10 qualifications you look for for cybersecurity hire. Written by some fat HR lady. Ay, 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 Jim the Dandy. Top 10 qualifications you look for in security hire. They probably ask Claude or something what cybersecurity questions they need, certifications they need, and they just copy the whole list of 10 that they ask for. You need to have CISSP, CISM. They're like some redundant ones too. Security plus. Guy needs to have everything. We want everything. It's kind of like little children when you wanna give them an ice cream. When they want an ice cream and they're like, what do you want? I want everything. Discord. Thank you, Ross AK, for advertising the Discord. You may join the Discord as well. I publish the schedules there. And different things that are really fun to follow. Folks, that was it for us. I have to join my sibling for breakfast here in town. And yeah, it was really fun having you. Folks, please take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know whether we'll keep doing this format. There's more articles to read. I'm kind of having fun. And the fact that there's 13 viewers that stuck along means that it's a format that people enjoy. So maybe we'll just keep on talking like this with the mic and talk about cybersecurity stuff. Folks, it's going to be just last thing. It's we're going to take a 2 months break starting on Friday. So yeah, Friday is going to be our last stream for a little bit. Friday morning, so Thursday evening for a lot of you in the US. So be sure to follow on Friday. We have plenty of things. We're going to have a what is it called? A quiz. We're gonna have a stream quiz. We're gonna ask a few questions. 2 months, yeah. 2 months break. I know, MC. I'm gonna miss you. Yeah, we have so many things with the wedding planning going on, and then there's gonna be the honeymoon. So yeah, I want to be fully present and mindful during this time. So if I can get another hour of sleep and another hour of planning, it's gonna be really helpful. So yeah, I'm gonna pause the stream for a little bit. It was a difficult decision, huh? Let's see. Is there anyone on InfoSec streams we can raid? Oh, no. Dude, Black Hack Knock should not be on there. There's another streamer on InfoSec streams. They're called Knock. I'm not gonna raid you there. Yeah, you can go there by yourself if you want to. It's kind of fun, I guess. It's just music and people typing on computers. It looks kind of fun, but kind of useless. Kind of a useless stream. There's 3 people enjoying it. I'm guessing they're just chilling there. If no one has a suggestion as who to raid, then we'll get going. I wish we had a few more cyber streamers. Let me just search cyber. Maybe there's someone there. Cyber. No. Arc doesn't count. Cyber CSGO. I don't think this is the idea. Folks, we're going to end the stream there. I'll see you tomorrow in 22 short hours. Please enjoy your day. And thank you for joining us. Take care, folks. Ciao, ciao. Good night.